I'm Piano Man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Yeah. Welcome to the long run with an honest tongue. Justified, opinionated when the topic comes. Don't give a piss about nothing but tide. Honey be on my mind and I keep that pride. Stroke still strong, last name long. Roll tide, roll where the truth belong. West Virginia born, working hard in my soul. Still got that steel town grin and I take control. F them trees, yeah I said it loud. Go Steelers too, got the whole room proud. Love that college game, love that Friday light. Love them real world problems and we talk all night. We bring that fire gumbo daily. Stir it up, don't play me. Bishop on the forge by fire away. JB got the whole room crazy. LaToya in the mix, can't tame it. Twist to keep the freight line moving. Welcome to the show. Piano Man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to the show. Hey, I'm your boy, I'm Piano Man. It's me, I'm back. It's me in live and living color for the next few minutes. And then you know how we do it. We take it to the Discord and everything. Hope everybody is has had a good weekend. I know I have. I've had a busy one. Mostly worked on the farm a little bit there, but it was all good. It was all good. Making sure things just get done like they need to be getting done and everything, all that kind of stuff. So hope everybody's well. Like I said, I'm not going to be on here long, but I do have a few announcements that I want to tell everybody. First of all, next week, we're going to have, we're not going to have shows at all next week. We're going to take a week off. But we'll still be in the Discord. I'm just making that announcement. Well, I will be making that announcement all week long. That next week we will not have shows, okay? But starting the next week, we will pick back up with SEC Media Days, all right? And we're going to start that Monday, and we want to hear what everybody has to say. Now, I want to say this. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I'm not your typical quote-unquote Alabama channel. I don't just do all Tide, all things, all the time. That's not me. Bama is my team, just like Pittsburgh is my team in pros. Lakers are my team in basketball. Mets and Orioles are my team in baseball. But here's the catch. We do everybody, all right? So when we do SEC Media Days, we're going to start with day one. I want to say, let me pull this out right quick. All right, SEC Media Days, and that's going to be July 20th, starting on the 20th. And that first day, you will hear from the coach of Kentucky, Missouri. You will hear from Oklahoma and Tennessee. That's on the first day, all right? That's on the first day. And then on the second day, as it comes up, we will hear from, how can I put this up? Did I pull it up? Well, okay, my calendar. Well, anyway, I've got it all written down in my calendar. But the third day, heads up, will be Coach DeBoer, all right? So we're going to be figuring out how to be watching SEC Media Days, and we will be watching it. That's what we will be doing, because especially what I want you all to know, I want you all to hear what the other coaches are saying, what they're saying about their team, whether we play them or not. I want you to hear them. I want you to hear them out. And so next week, the 13th through the 17th, we will not be having any shows. We're taking the week off from here and everything. But starting on the 20th, we will be doing SEC Media Days. We're going to be making it. We're going to be making it happen, okay? And we're going to do it by way of the SEC Network, okay? So I hope everybody. I want everybody just make sure that they be in, up and on it and everything. So hey, what's up, Mr. P? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. P. Good morning to everybody in the chat. And so we're gonna be streaming. Okay, a lot of changes I'm about to make. Just been in prayer about some things. Lots of changes I'm about to make. Lots of changes I'm about doing things this upcoming season. And so that's just the way some things are just going to be going. And so it is what it is, y'all. And so I don't want nobody to be alarmed. It's just time for change. It's just time for change. All right. And so that's how we're going to be. That's how we're going to be doing. But I'm looking forward to the change. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to some things. All right. And so that's how we're going to go. How was everybody's fourth? I hope everybody's fourth. I hope everybody's fourth was okay. Like I said, yeah, no shows next week, Latoya. Miss you too, Kimberly. That's my sissy over there, y'all. That's my sissy, Kimberly Harmon. Good. Yeah, no shows next week, Latoya. Listen, this stuff is work. This stuff is work, man. And but we're getting ready for media days, and I've got some things to do. And appreciate it, Stephen. Thank you for support. Thank you for the support. And yeah, Kimberly, I know you had an awesome 4th of July. You did. I know you did. And thank you, Ja'Cory. I appreciate the prayer. Shoulder was the shoulder sort of messed up, lifting and all that kind of stuff, and trying to get things back in order, get things back in working order. But you can't, after you get to be a certain age, that stuff don't bounce back as quick as you used to, So, but it's gonna be all good. Okay, it's going to be all good. So again, next week there will be no shows, but we will be in the Discord. We will be in the Discord, just like we're going to be in the Discord today. You got Austin. You didn't, bruh. Cobwebs. Shoot, there wasn't cobwebs. There were real live strings, man. Shoot, cobweb, man. That was real live ropes and everything going on up in my shoulder. What's up, Bino? My GM is here. Good to see everybody. So let's now that we got all of that out the way, like I said, we will have shows this week, and we will go regular schedule programming and everything. But next week, Discord only. Discord only. Okay, that's all it's going to be next week. Straight Discord. Discord only. All right. And so then the next week, we're going to start off with SEC Media Days. Now, what I might do, I've got to work out some logistics, but what I'm going to do is I might come on like 30 to 40 minutes earlier, so it'll just be us, and then we'll go straight into SEC Media Day. All right, we're going to figure it all out. We're going to figure it all out. All right. So anyway, but y'all, let's get with the getting right here. Something I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to say this of most assured. I'm not into this thing about who said what first. I could care less about who gets the credit for what, because saying something first all the time doesn't always necessarily make you right. It doesn't make you wrong either. It just more or less just it is what it is. Okay, saying something first just because you said it first, like I said, doesn't necessarily make it right. And then it doesn't mean that anybody else doesn't know about it. Okay, it just makes it that you were the first to say. You may have been the first to say something about it to your knowledge. Let me throw that, as Bishop would say, let me throw that little caveat out there, to your knowledge, because just because you haven't heard another person say it, that doesn't mean that somebody else hadn't said it, or somebody else hadn't thought of it, or they hadn't discussed it somewhere. They maybe not have discussed it openly. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I lost my spot. Hold it. Here we go. I gotta adjust the screen. There we go. One of the things that has caught my attention over the weekend between shelling peas and stuff like that is scheduling. One of the things that I am noticing is in Lindy's. I'm coming out of my other Bible today. I'm coming out of Lindy's. Lindy's is Scoping the Nation. It's called Scoping the Nation. And one of the things that we have discussed here on the Long Run is that we've told everybody, as far as the SEC went, be weary of, I want to get the dates right now, September 26th. We've said, watch September 26th. Pay attention to September the 26th. Why did we say that? Because that's the day that a lot of the SEC games, that's the day that Bama plays South Carolina. That's the day Oklahoma. Let me see. I got to you. I think that's the, yeah. Here we go. They got the dates in here. That's the day Carolina plays, South Carolina plays Bama. That's the day Oklahoma goes to Georgia. That's also September 26th. But in the SEC, I don't have my paper with me because I'm in a different location, and I left that sitting back in the office back there. But September the 26th is the day that the SEC is going. I'm not going to say it's going to be decided, but a lot of games, those results that day are going to make a world of difference for everyone in the SEC. Win, lose, or draw. Too bad there will be no ties, but there will be wins and losses. And that day is important. I keep telling everybody that Oklahoma Georgia game, watch it. Watch it now. Bama, South Carolina, watch that game. I'm just saying now. Watch that game. Bama, South Carolina, watch that game. Oklahoma, Georgia, watch that game. I'm going to tell you all something. But Lindy's has given a top 15 of the whole year. So I'm going to start at 15 and work my way to number one, all right? Bishop, matter of fact, Bishop, you all at Oklahoma have made it twice in Lindy's top 15. At number 15, they have you all that the Oklahoma-Georgia game is one of the top 15 games in the as a conference game. At number 15 on September 26th, making their first trip to Athens in program history. The Sooners will surely be welcomed between the heads with open arms. That's what they said there. You know, nothing all major, nothing all deep. And then number 14, out of the top 15 is going to be Texas at Oklahoma. Texas versus Oklahoma, October the 10th. I told y'all also to watch that date as well. But September 26th will be, to me, that's going to begin to filter out how the rest of the SEC is going to go. Even though it be still early in the year, but you've got some big games that particular day. The 13th game, the 13th number, the number 13 top conference game is, guess who? November 7th, Alabama, LSU. This game could be at the top of this and any other list by November 7th, which is a Saturday chock full of great games. Now, notice something that they said, and this is something that Piano Man has been saying the whole time. By the time these games are played, those polls will have been finagled a lot. You see what I'm saying? Those polls will have been finagled a lot. So when I read you all these out of Lindy's and things like that, these are just people with opinions of how they think it's going to go. All right, but when the AP polls come out, those are the ones that you begin to start talking about. Those are the ones that you say, why in the world they got us here? Because now this is what coaches are saying. This is what coaches are saying. UPI, UPI back in the gap. That's what sports writers. AP, more coaches and sports writers, all that good stuff. All right. When those official polls come out, that's when you begin to look. Then when your college football playoff poll comes out, like in October, November, now that's when you begin to start worrying. I'm just being honest with you. That's when you begin to start worrying. That's when you begin to start, you can either flap your wings or shut your mouth. Because the college football playoff poll is the one that you want to go with in the latter times. That's where you're going. And there's a lot of football to be played. There's a lot of football to be played. Now, how you operate, how you do, that's totally up to the team. I don't want to hear about they're doing everything to kick us out. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Either you win or you lose. You win, you lose, you get there. That you win, you get there. You lose, well, there's always the alternative. So the point that I'm making is when he said this game could be at the top of the list and any other list by November the 7th. The reason that they said that is something that Double A says all the time. We don't know how any of these games are going to turn out from day one. This is why I can't speak for anyone else. I can just speak for Piano Man. The only game I'm worried about as of July the 6th of this year is, guess what? East Carolina. I am not worried about Georgia. I'm not worried about Oklahoma. I'm not worried about LSU, Auburn, Chattanooga. It doesn't matter to me. The only game I worry about as of today is September 5, East Carolina. That's it. That's it. One game at a time. I'm not looking down the road. Because this guy in Lindy's is saying by the time Alabama and LSU plays, it's a lot of football that's going to be water under the bridge. You know, I'm just being honest with you. Stacey, we should be worried about Georgia, but guess what? We're not. I'm not worried about Georgia. Let me tell you why. Biggest reason I'm not worried about Georgia is because we're not playing them yet. And furthermore, why am I worried about a team that I'm 2-10 against? 10-2 against. Let me get that right. That I'm 10-2 against in the last 12 tries. And I'm not saying that in bragging. I'm saying it because it's true. Yeah, y'all beat us in that SEC in the SEC championship. Sure did. Yeah, you did. You did. Nobody's denying that. Nobody's denying that. You did, and so whoop-de-doo. The last I checked now, everybody's 0-0. Everybody's 0-0. So I'm not worried about Georgia. What I want to worry about Georgia for? It's just July the 6th. See, that's where a lot of us go wrong. And whoever you fans of, that you are, you got to worry about game 1. Matter of fact, you even put last year behind. Start talking about this year now. I'm just saying. But I understand, Stacey, but but anyway, good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Number 13 is Alabama, LSU. And number 14, BYU and Utah. Number 11, Ole Miss at Texas. That's going to be a good game. And then number 10, I keep telling everybody again, this is going to be a shootout right here. I have a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that on October the 31st, which is trick or treat, Ohio State goes to USC. Yep, they sure do. They go to USC, Governor. They go to USC, Bishop.
Yeah.
And I told everybody, watch USC. They're quietly going about their business. And Bishop, didn't they get Gary Patterson?
Yeah, they did.
And Gary Patterson, he's no slouch on defense. That was all that was wrong. That's all that's been really wrong with USC. Their defense hadn't been solid. If USC's defense is solid, more just a tidbit solid to match their, to just kind of help their offense out, USC gonna have a lot to say about how that Big Ten goes. Bishop, what you think?
I totally agree with you. Without a doubt, this year, like I explained to everybody, USC was real quiet the last several years in trying to build right. And the last thing they needed is someone to actually govern the defense and that has a schematic knowledge of how to attack offenses. And they got that person named Gary Patterson. But once again, we're only in the summer. So he still has to implement his defense and go on the field. So with that said, it's intriguing. That's why I said 2026 is up for grabs.
It really
See
is.
what happens.
Exactly. And one thing, and Governor, this is a classic example of USC, of something that you've been saying, Governor. This is a classic example of what it looks like when a defense saves an offense or wins games for you, sets an offense up, the defense wins the game. In USC's case, it's been sort of in the role reversal. The reason that they've won is because their offense came to life, whereas the defense couldn't stop nobody, and the other team just couldn't score them. But if this defense is anywhere close to a Gary Patterson defense of the past, I just believe USC is going to be something, something to say. So, Governor, what you think about, like I said, when you say how the defense wins games, like you were talking about with Alabama last year, the defense won the majority of those games.
Yeah. Morning, everybody. That's number one. Honestly, if you want I'm gonna be honest with y'all today. I think a lot of these big names this year, I'm just speaking for this year, y'all, not a collective. This year, I think a lot of big name schools go down. I'm gonna say that again. That's including us. So I don't want nobody else or a different fan base there. Oh, see, they're biased. No, I'm talking about us too. I think a lot of big names, the ones that are normally just you hear that name, oh, that's a W. I think it's going to be a lot of upsets this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's going to be a lot of upsets this year, and nobody's really looking at that in a vacuum because you hear the name. So I'm just giving out an example. You got Georgia, and say because I don't know who's on their schedule. Say Georgia and Florida, right? Those are two big names, but we all know Georgia's the bigger name. That might be a sleeping game. That's like us in Tennessee. They say they're predicting for us to lose to Tennessee. I'm just using those two examples, but you hear the big names, and I think they go down. It's the schools like Kentucky, the Mississippi States, the Arkansas, the Iowa States, the Kansas States, the Kansas. I think the Baylors, we haven't heard that name in a while. I think those schools got something to say this season. That's just my opinion. And we have to be mindful. Just because you have the blue blood names does not mean that you're just going to walk into any stadium and just blow every single team out. We're all biased to a certain extent. But these smaller schools are also doing the same thing we're doing. They're getting the 5 stars to come to their schools. They're getting transfers to come into their schools. And since they're not on the mainstream and they don't have that big name, does not mean they're not getting guys that can play this game. That's just my opinion, though.
And Governor, I need you to go back to that part where you said about just walking in and taking a win just because it's who you are, just because it's a certain name. Governor, you've been saying for the longest now, and now that we are 61 days away from the start for as far as Alabama goes, Oklahoma goes, the majority, and you even less than that with some other schools, they're going to start the week a week ahead. But Governor, you made a statement, and I told you I download stuff in my brain, and I might not bring it back up right then. But this here I'm going to bring up today because something that you talked about. And when you go looking at scheduling, you made the statement and said, for some of these teams, the way that the transfer portal was set up and addressed is going to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to give certain teams a certain advantage. And it's going to help that team tremendously in the long grand scheme of things, like a USC, who has just quietly went about, like Bishop said, quietly went about doing their work. And now all of a sudden, you get a Gary Patterson coupled with an offense that's already functional. Now you're trying to get you putting your defense together. Now, Governor, address that what you was saying about teams going down now because of the transfer portal.
But because it's like when you hear USC, right? They'll be like, "Oh, it's just USC." I'm like, why are we forgetting that USC is not one of those type of names? You know what I'm saying? It's like we forget that USC is one of those type. They were one of those schools that was winning national championships. That had Heisman Trophy winners back to back. That was one of those teams that you had to beat. You know what I'm saying? We and I'm not bashing any team. I'm just giving examples, y'all. We forget what happened in the past with certain teams, but when it's beneficial for our conversation, we bring up the past of certain teams. I'm gonna say that again. We forget what happened in the past with certain teams, but when it's beneficial for us, I'm speaking for me as well, for us Bama fans as well. So I don't want nobody to be like, oh, it's bias. I'm speaking about us too. We do that. We are guilty of it as well. We bring up the past to fit our narrative for an argument. But
Hmm.
others that had a past or had like a little run, we use them as like, oh, well, that just happened like it was a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. These teams still can play. These teams still have a brand. These teams still have history. They have championships. They have Heisman Trophy winner cases. They have conference championships in their showcases, so they can present to these kids. The transfer portal is up for grabs for any school, man. It's fair game. So just because we're not getting those dudes and we don't know about them does not mean they can't play this game. And all they have to do is get put in the right system with the right coach. And then we're going to be like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, he's been there. He just wasn't talked about.
Telling
This,
you,
this year is going to be a problem. I'm telling you, this year is going to wake up a lot of people to really start to evaluate their team and be like, okay, are these guys really that good, or was it the brand that made them? Is it the brand that made them to be out to be that guy? You see what I'm saying?
right.
You follow what I'm saying? Like the brand is
Yeah,
pushing up the player more so than the player pushing up the brand.
gotcha,
Go
gotcha.
ahead, Bishop.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
I
get you.
got
I
you.
get you. And in
I get
fact,
you.
yeah, we're talking real talk. No shucking and jiving. For us, it's 60 days away since we play Friday. Uh, Let me explain something. We are now past the 70-day mark, and we're fast approaching the Southeastern Conference Media Day. The key at this current time is development and coaching.
Yep.
And understand a lot of teams that been maybe 8-4, 9-3, but they still got questions to answer. A lot of them have circled this year to make that push. And that's every team at this current time. Because believe it or not, I can't win off of last year's season. I can only forge ahead. And the only way you do that is acknowledge where I fell short and make sure that's not a tendency anymore, and that I answered the bell. And now the proof is in the pudding. Now I got to go do the work. What I will say to you, there's a team down in Waco, Texas, that's been quietly building, and they finally got a quarterback that fits their system. And then we know their coach is a defense savant. That is Baylor University. And they got that quarterback that came out of that was Florida's supposedly the dream quarterback they was supposed to have. As soon as he started having some injuries, all of a sudden he was trash. Well, he's got something to prove because he's back home. He's from Texas. And so him being in the Big 12 and knowing how their coach is a defensive minded coach, things could happen for Baylor that's been sitting dormant, but they still got to do the work. But I'm just saying, if you look all the way around the NCAA, there's literally caveats to make you say, man, if they put everything together, they could have something. If that's the case, and you can say it for our teams, right now we need to be doing our research on our team and making sure and holding our coaches' feet to the fire to make sure they develop everybody, because you never know when their memo's going to be called, and we're going to need to be able to hold the consistency across the board.
I got two questions, y'all.
Sure.
I'm just sitting here thinking, you know how my brain works sometimes. I got two questions. First question: when do you think a university is going to actually put a line in the sand and said, you know what, we're only going to target our state? We're really just only focus on our state and rebuild within our state. You know, guys that's in our state, and really make it an effort for them not to leave this state and keep these kids home. That's the first one. Second question: AP, you remember that conversation we had on your podcast? I would say it's like last year, and I brought up the term midterms.
Yep.
Right now we're in a midterm. Right now it's midterms because we're about to go into the season. From our season going into this year, we only got one bye week. Where would midterms be?
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
Governor, I'm gonna answer the second question first.
Okay.
From my perspective. I'm still gonna go with your let me go ahead and pull this up since you put that out there like that, bro. Let me go ahead and pull this up first.
It's gonna be a little hard.
You remember,
it is.
You remember when you made the statement when it was a 2-bye week,
right?
That during the Tennessee week, it would be right around in there. That would be like the start of a midterm in there. Well, Governor, when I go back and I look at this schedule again, guess what? Even with one bye week, it's going to fall on Tennessee.
And that's what, week 8?
It's going to fall on 10. It's going to fall on if you're going to give that midterm grading, you're going to have some major tests ahead of that, though.
Right.
But that midterm that you're talking about is still going to fall at Tennessee.
It's right after the Georgia game, ain't it?
Right after.
So
no way around.
Like you got to buy. You got Georgia, bye, and then Tennessee.
Tennessee and then Texas A&M.
Yep. First.
Right around that midterm.
Spaghetti-o.
Do we wait? Because I said that in confidence.
No, wait a minute, Bishop. That's not right. We don't have a bye until LSU.
So that's 3 weeks.
Snap. I'm going off of last year. You're right. We
don't have the bye until LSU. See, Governor, that's why, and that's not even a trick question, Governor, because and let me finish on that, because we're still given the same bye week from last year, except this time it's only going to fall at LSU, where last time we got it before Georgia and before LSU.
Right.
This time it's just going to fall at LSU. So I'm going to go back to what you said last year, Tennessee.
Do you think?
And what week is Tennessee?
Ain't that week 6?
The 17th of October. Third Saturday in October.
That's like
Mhm.
that's 6 a week,
Yeah, that's
right?
midterm.
Go ahead, Governor.
I'm
Go
saying
ahead, Gus.
that's like week 6 and week 7 because the first 3 games is Eastern Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, bye week, and then Georgia. No. It used to be a bye. After South Carolina is Georgia, Tennessee, then a bye week, then LSU, Texas A&M. I can't remember.
So I'm going back. I'm going back with that midterm deal. That logic of yours from last year. Because to me, the only thing that changed is the no buy right before Georgia.
Right. So there's no bye right before Georgia. The first 4 games is Eastern Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, right?
Yeah, you got Florida State. Well, first we start off with East Carolina, go to Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State. We have Mississippi State on the road.
Mississippi State. So that's 5 games. Then Georgia.
And then after Mississippi State, we play Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M. After Texas A&M, then we get the bye.
Oh. Oh. Mm, okay. So do we panic before the midterm or after? That all, of course, is all going to depend on the games and how we play this season. But I'm saying that midterm mark right now is very crucial. It's very crucial.
Like what you said though. Okay, here we go. This is something the GM said. Bino, JB, I consider every week midterm this season to see how coaches improve the team every week. I agree. I can agree with that. But to sum it all up from how Governor puts it in its totality, I'm still gonna go with Tennessee. Why? Because now, Governor, this time it ups the ante, like what Bishop has been saying. You don't get that extra bye week. You're playing straight through. So it's making what something else you say, Governor. 2 things can be right at the same time. Is making what you say be true about that midterm being at the Tennessee mark, but it's also making what Bino say be true because of now you've got South Carolina in there. Let me see, South Carolina.
Yeah.
You got Carolina. Then you got Kentucky. Then you got Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State. By the time September 26th comes, you're going to be some of these teams are going to be on their second and third. Let me see, September 26th. Let me see, 1.
SEC game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your third SEC game. By the time the 1st of October rolls around, some of them going to be on their third SEC game already. And that's why I made the statement, watch September 26th on that day, because that's where some things are going to begin to filter out. The filtering is going to start on September 26th.
See, because me, for looking at the schedule, I think our midterm is not Tennessee. The reason why I'm saying this because we had a bye before Georgia. We don't got a bye no more. I think the midterm is Georgia. That's your midterm. Because after that, if you look at the rest of our season, you're in the finals week. You're in finals. Midterm is done. You're in the finals. You don't have no.
Yeah.
If you mess up any type of games before you hit to Georgia, let's say we have a close loss. I'm just giving an example, chat. Hold on. Say we win our first 4 games, but that Mississippi State game goes down to the wire. It always does that, especially in Mississippi. That Georgia game is going to be your midterm.
Facts.
That is Tennessee and then a bye. You can't have a midterm after Tennessee. Because after that, you got LSU, you still got Texas A&M, you still got a schedule.
Yep.
you in your finals after that Georgia game. That's midterm. You got to. That's 6 games.
Yep.
And Governor, and hold up, Governor and Bishop, I got to come about something now. Now it goes back to that formula that you talked about, 4-8 versus 8-4. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
See, that's all Governor's saying in another roundabout fashion, Governor. We talked about, like, when you look at isn't it Georgia? No. It's Oklahoma.
Yeah, we got the first 4.
Again. Hold up.
Yeah, we got the first 4, and then we got a bye. Then because the 4th game is
1, 2, 3, 4.
September
They have their
26th.
first 4, Governor. Then they get a bye week, and then their next 8 is go like that. Right. And then Alabama, on the other hand, plays 8 and then get a bye and then has 4.
So that's crazy. So who?
Some teams midterm, like what you're saying, Governor, some teams midterm will come early.
Yeah.
Bama's is just in that crazy spot.
And so that's why I tell folks, you have to pay attention to how the schedule lays for you. Because right now, the truth of the matter is, you got to be able to manage the 8-game gauntlet. If you can manage the 8-game gauntlet to go 7-1, then after your bye, then you can afford to go 3-1. But once again, out of 8 games, how healthy can you end up?
So in a nutshell, when you say, I'm just giving out an example, wouldn't you say, for this example right here, the conversation that we're having right now, Oklahoma would have a harder schedule than Bama because their first bye is week 5?
Hey, Governor, they don't like Oklahoma. It's all good. Hey, the bottom line is that's why I see. I know people don't understand me, but when I said you have to be forced by fire, because I saw that after that first bye, remember we played Georgia before the bye. Because that's the 26th. And then we have the bye week. And then from that on, it's all SEC, starting with Texas.
Right. So wouldn't y'all have the harder schedule than we do?
You said it. We just play it.
I don't know about all that one now. I don't know.
Pete.
I'm sitting here looking after Texas. You got Kentucky. Then you go to Mississippi State.
We don't have last year's schedule.
They go to Florida. Then they play Ole Miss. Then play Texas A&M. Then they go to Missouri. What we have in common is Kentucky, State, South Carolina, Texas A&M.
Right. We can't say on one hand, don't just lose Kentucky or Mississippi State.
But Bama, on the other hand, all I'm saying is I'm not going to say that Oklahoma has the hardest schedule.
No.
Because they don't. They don't. You got East Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU. Look how many top 25 you're playing in a row.
Okay. Wouldn't that
Oklahoma's schedule doesn't measure up like that.
And guess what, Governor? And we don't look. We ain't mad. Y'all can have it. We did it last year. Y'all good. Have at it.
Only reason why I'm giving pushback, because say we lose to Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
Say we lose to Kentucky. Kentucky now comes ranked. They don't lose any more games. And then Oklahoma has to pay them at the back end of that schedule. Wouldn't they be ranked?
Yeah. It's all predicated on how they fall. And
Yeah,
yeah, we hear what you're saying. I'm just
I hear
saying,
what you're saying, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna just accept that Oklahoma plays the hardest schedule. Cause let me throw this out there, go governor. Now, what if Oklahoma beats Georgia and we beat them too?
right. But I'm not saying about what we beat. I'm talking about how they playing in a row. They still got to. They don't have no more buys after that. After week 5, they have
I
no
knew
more
what
buys.
he was saying.
And
I knew what you were
yeah,
saying, Governor.
and I understand what I'm understanding what you're saying, but it doesn't make their schedule harder. It just makes the scheduling group cause Alabama, whereas they playing 8 right there, Alabama have to play 8 to start with before they get one. All Georgia has to play is 4. So it's all going to equal, it still equals out. Don't sound like it, but it does. I caught that and I said, that ain't because when Bishop and I first discussed it, he'll tell you, I said, that ain't cool. I said, you know, I said,
Ain't no
8
fun when the rabbit
games
has a
and
gun,
no
P.
bye.
It's your turn. Last year, boy,
But
we about to skin of our teeth.
I'm just
Shoot,
saying.
you know,
Can't say on one hand that
I
don't
know.
sleep on Kentucky, and then when if in the backhand, if Oklahoma's playing Kentucky after we done played them, still don't sleep on Kentucky. They still
Yeah,
got they still got to play Mississippi State in Mississippi State. They still got to play Georgia. They still got to play Texas A&M. They're playing Ole Miss, a team that we don't play.
can I say this then? Um,
mhm,
it's not the schedule per se. It's Sankey's 9 SEC game schedule without a second bye.
Like that's
That's
crazy.
the true caveat because now you have to be ready to have your third and fourth stringers develop and clued in and on the same level because you never
mhm,
know when you're going to have to call on them because you're playing 8 games in a row. If anybody remembers how staunch of each game last year was for the Southeastern Conference, there were some teams that the week before they didn't look good, but then the next week they go play, i.e., Alabama, and all of a sudden they're pushing you. And now they got another year to build better. I ain't taking nobody lightly. I'm just saying,
yeah,
anybody y'all put in front of us, we got to find a way to win. Go 1-0 each and every week. That's it.
I'm gonna try to give. I'm gonna try to make sense of his decision, Sankey's decision. Do you think this is the year? Let me hear where I'm going. Do you think this is the year he actually? I'm not saying he did this, y'all. I'm just giving my opinion, y'all. Okay. Do you think Sankey did this to see who's going to be a real coach?
Mm,
Who's a
mm.
real
no,
coach here? Because right now, what it sounds from way how the schedules look for all the SEC teams, where they get their bye, where they get their bye in either the beginning or the second half, it's going to come down to coaching. Seriously, it's really going to come down to coaching because these guys are going to get tired. These guys are going to get mentally challenged. They're going to get physically challenged, and certain coaches are going to have to either pull the trigger on certain guys or bring some stuff out of pull some stuff out of their hat because
Governor,
you only got
I
one
don't think
bye.
it had in honest to goodness, bro. I don't think it had nothing to do with coaching. He's got bigger fish he's trying to fry.
Well, we know that aspect. I was trying to make sense of it a little bit.
I think he's allowed this to happen because of he's wanting to be the next commissioner of the NCAA.
That's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
You might be right there, P. You might be onto something.
That's what he's wanting.
But here's what he's done. I'm gonna put a challenge out to the Southeastern Conference. Uh, here's the key, and coaches hear me. It doesn't matter if you start off with 4 and end up with 8, or you start off with 8 and with 4. You will be fire tested, and those who are willing to acknowledge and learn and adapt and adjust will see the fruits. Those who do not will get burnt up. Period.
This year is really gonna dictate who keeps their job, because you can't go out here and blow out a Kentucky, right? I'm just give an example. You can't go out here and blow a Kentucky out, or US South Carolina out, and the Mississippi State out, and then lose 5 straight games to teams that you're supposed to be basically in a battle with.
Well, Governor, I'm gonna let you honest explain and say something. Everybody wants their pound of flesh, and everybody's been the parity so strong. This is the first year where I literally, I prefer to go 1-0, because you don't know how they've been building it. All of us have something we had to answer for this upcoming year. Nobody has. Some of us have our starting quarterbacks coming back, but they didn't have such a great year or decision making. Then some of us, we couldn't run the ball, or our offensive coordinator. Let me put a little caveat and asterisk on it. Some of our OCs chose not to acknowledge that part. And then you have some teams that are gotten a coach that can now coach their defense and have added pieces from the portal. It's the first time that I see where Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, Kentucky are not that of the old. They have been quietly building like a SC, USC, and this year is a pivotal year because a lot of them are now with their recruits. And so with that said, is now our university needs to be able to withstand and be able to go through the gauntlet. And once again, we understand it's not easy to go through a gauntlet when you got 8 games you have to go through. In some cases, before you get your bye, go ahead.
I want to address Austin, because while you're on that, Austin, we're not saying that. Don't. That's not what we're saying, sir. Come on, catch up in the conversation. We never said that it was an SEC thing. What we're saying is that the second bye week was taken away from the school. Everybody knew that everybody got 2 bye weeks. We knew that. Why all of a sudden you want to take it and make everything a 9-game schedule? That's what we're saying, Austin. We never said that it was a SEC thing. We know this. We're just saying that Greg Sankey allowed this to take place because whatever he was going after, and this, that, and the third, to me, he did not have to follow suit, because everybody knows when you go and put up a top 25 schedule, who does it mostly consist of? The SEC. It mostly consists of the SEC. Why? And why is that? Because we play each other. We're just that good all the way across the board. Now, when you're getting ready to play each other and you're adding an extra game, coupled with the fact, and now there are, is it after this year, Governor and Bishop, no more cupcakes?
Hey, man, this ain't a cupcake.
Facts.
It's not a cupcake this year. The SEC has
and you only get 1 bye week. Injuries are still a part of the game. And some people may not come back from their injury, whatever. And then, as I say, yonder goes Jesus on the bicycle.
Injuries this year is going to play a big role this year. it's going to play a big role this year because I don't want nobody to get injured. That's for anybody that's playing any type of sport. I hate to see injuries, career injuries or just injuries, especially when they have like a great season. I hate to see injuries because I like to go against the best. But this year, injuries is going to play a major part because if you was to lose a guy, say week 3, and you get your bye week and he didn't come back and he's not able to come back to like week 9, your season could be over if the coaches don't coach this year. That's what I said about the coaches this year. It's really going to dictate on how the coaches coach these young men this year for the SEC schools. I'm telling y'all this now. If they don't coach this year and get off their high horses, and that's for all schools, not just Bama, for all schools in the SEC, people are going to be looking at them coaches like, yo, get them out of here, because this might be the formula for years to come. It might not change. It might just stay the same for the next 20 years. So these coaches from all these SEC schools are going to have to coach this year. Because if you lose your starting quarterback or your starting D tackle or your starting DN or anybody pivotal on your team early in the season or even in the mid-season, that could be your season.
I.e., our Mason Thomas when we played Tennessee.
If Chambers is still on Ole Miss, right? I just wanted to make that. I don't know if I don't want to speak out of information. Is Chambers the quarterback from Ole Miss? Is he still there?
Yes, he got it
Yes,
back.
he is. Yes,
Okay.
he is.
He ran it back.
Hypothetically, I'm just picking him out right now. Hypothetically, say he goes down. Maybe not for long, but say he goes down week 4. Who's their backup?
Deuce Knight.
Deuce Knight. Is he going to be ready to take on that gauntlet? Is the team going to be mentally ready to take on that gauntlet? Because they've been so basically stuck on Chambliss because Deuce Knight's supposed to be the guy coming up. It's going to take coaching to develop this guy quickly and have him prepared just in case.
Well, I think Deuce, in Ole Miss's case, I think Deuce Knight would be a great upgrade. Chambliss is the man. And remember, when Austin Simmons went down, you had the same questions about Chambliss because nobody knew who he was. Now, but you had Lane Kiffin over there doing this thing with Chambliss, and Chambliss came in and adapted to offense and did good. I think that if that case came up for Ole Miss with Deuce Knight, because to me, Auburn was foolish to let Deuce Knight go. Now, that's just to me now. That's just to me. I don't know what Golish had on his mind, but that, how be ever, that, there we go. But I believe in Ole Miss's case, it's going to be okay. But I will get to the matter at hand, and go ahead and bust the door down, because Alabama does not have that solid quarterback who it has not been named. Then that's putting a lot of what Governor's saying right there. Now that's going to fit Bama to the T. I'll go ahead and say it, because we don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be. And so to bring Governor's scenario closer to home, just bring it all the way home. So either or, what if one of Bama's starters goes down for 5 or 6 games? Will the backup be ready? If not, now that's what Governor's saying. And you can't get mad about that, Chad. You can't get mad about that, because Governor, am I right in saying, sir? Bishop, am I right in saying what I'm about to say? That's a reality.
Yeah.
Because if Russell's a starting, right? Say Russell starts. Say he get hurt in the Georgia game. we don't get a bye until after Tennessee.
Yeah,
And then after that, you got games to play, bro. It might be pivotal games to play.
and
Is
Governor,
mentally going to be ready for that?
and Governor, what if he's not ready? What if he's not ready? Whomever it is, what if they're not ready by SEC championship?
We might not make it there. I'm not saying it's going to happen.
See,
That I'm just going out a scenario on how injuries was big before, but I think this year injuries is a pivotal thing. If the core of that, okay, I'm going to step out of the conference real quick. I'm going to talk about Miami. If Malachi Tony goes down, if they have I don't know their schedule, if they have the same type of format that we have, if Tony goes down week 3, do they have another guy that can do what he do? You see what I'm saying? Now, because if they don't have another guy that can do what he does, because Tony is a beast. He's a dude. We all know this. It's not a fluke. We all know this. But it's gonna come down to coaching. Y'all gonna have to coach this season. Y'all have to. Y'all can't just assume that you're just gonna beat every single team. We did that a couple of years ago, and it didn't work out. So now it comes to the fact of, okay, these guys got to coach. Where's all the players? No, they have to coach this season. You have to. Everybody has to be on the same accord, and everybody has to be ready. But I'm going to look at all of my coaches. Forget the players. Forget the players right now. You hold the players to a certain standard after the fact that the coach laid the foundation of what's going to happen. You got your plan A on your starters, and you got to have your plan B. If you don't have a plan B, teams are going to fall very quickly. So forget about that whole Notre Dame is automatically in with 10-2. I tell you this about Notre Dame. We could say anything that we want about their cupcake schedule, how privileged they think they have. If you actually watch them, they play fundamentally sound. If one goes up, the next person that comes in is ready to go. Forget everything else. As a team, if you have watched Notre Dame play, I'm not saying they won every single game, chat. I'm just giving the observation. Notre Dame, they play physically and mentally sound. It's not a lot of times you see them just get ran over. That does not happen. We'll look at the competition. I don't care who they play. They still take every single game as game one. That's how they play. It's not a fluke. Am I saying that right, or am I crazy for thinking that?
well, Notre Dame, if I may, Notre Dame is one of those schools that, and this is not to make no excuse, but they can get whoever they want to a certain degree. But yeah, coaching is there. I've got that, and that's true. But Ohio State does it. I know Ohio State does, especially with those wide outs. They don't never have a drop off in wide outs. They don't do that. They come with the fire all the time. So the backup behind the backup is just as good, i.e. Jameson Williams. So look at it from that standpoint, that we were blessed to get Jameson Williams a few years back, and he was behind someone at Ohio State and wasn't going to start. So those teams like that, Governor, are just blessed with talent that possibly we don't hear about, we don't get to, whatever. So yes, but they still have to be coached. But in the case of Bama have to play with the hand that's dealt them. You know, you remember you went after these guys, develop them. You know, get them ready for whatever. develop them. You know who your starters are going to be, develop them. And that's how that to me, that's how that works. You got to develop what you have.
But
go after what you want. But if you don't get it, develop what you have.
But it's crazy though, P. We'll sit here and talk. Maybe if I'm wrong, because Bishop's on the line and you're on the line. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll sit here and critique everybody else's schedule, right? Rightfully so. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's very, very warranted. Don't get me wrong, chat. We talk about other teams' schedules, but here's what they're missing. It's not the scheduling. Their conference is not as tough as what we have. We talk bad about our conference teams, but we'll use that same narrative as, well, that team, well, that's a W, that's a W, that's a W because of the name brand. But if we put those bottom teams in our conference in the other conference, I bet you they make noise. We'll use that argument.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you on that.
Noise. But when it comes to our conference, oh, they're trash. No, the SEC top to bottom. Think about what I'm about to say. From the SEC top to bottom, we might have good 3 or 4 teams that aren't in our talent range. If you name the schools in the SEC, we might have 3 or 4 teams that you would consider not talent-wise on the top to bottom. Same teams we got to play that we'll blow out or beat handily. But we'll talk about somebody else's schedule. Their schedule is bad because their conferences aren't good from top to bottom. They're just top.
I got you. I got where you're coming from. Track it.
Like the Vanderbilts done scooted up. The Kentuckys are now moving up through the players and the name. We ain't seen them play yet, but through the players and the name. So I guess the only 2 teams in our conference that we can say is still at the bottom is Arkansas and Mississippi State. Out of all our teams in our conference, those are the only 2. That's the difference between the SEC and everybody else. We're not just top heavy. We have a consistent of 16 teams in a conference, right? In our conference?
Yeah.
We got a good 13 to 14 teams that can roll with anybody in the conference.
On any given day.
On any given day, bro.
Yeah.
That's the problem that we're having. Our conference is not bad. They're not bad. And they're getting better. That's the scary part. They're getting better. We can't just maul those small schools anymore. Our conference is hard. So when we make a point about look at our strength of schedule, our strength of schedule is not because of the top heavy teams. It's because of those bottom teams that are coming up, going 9-3, going 10-2, beating the schools that are in the top. Yeah, our conference ain't trash.
And let me piggyback off of that. I like what this gentleman said. See, the key is documentation beat conversation. Then why do we have 11 to 12 teams ranked in the top 25?
Every year.
It's every year. Every year. And Bishop, watch this. Governor, now I'm finna show you something. I just counted it. You know, we were just going over the top 15 conference games, right?
Right.
I looked over on the next page, and they have the 20 toughest schedules of 2026.
Go ahead, Pete.
Don't look now, but the SEC has 11 teams in that top 20.
I'll be quiet.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Check this out. And
Wait a minute. Hold
ahead.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Anybody want to take a stab at who has the toughest schedule in the nation? I'll wait.
Is it from
Want to take a guess at it, Governor?
Is a team from the SEC?
I'll give you that much.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on a limb. Ole Miss.
But they're in the top 20, but they're not number one.
Bama.
They're in the top 20, but they're not number one. Arkansas.
Arkansas. That is wild.
That's wild.
Wow.
Arkansas,
Wow.
according to Lindy's, has the toughest schedule
What's their schedule?
in the nation.
Oh,
Now
I'm intrigued now.
now you got to pull that up. You got to
Yeah.
pull it.
Want me to pull it up?
Yeah, I
I'll
need
pull it up. I'll pull it up right quick. I will pull it up right quick. And next time, let me see. Let me mark my page. Call. Anybody want to take a stab at guess who's number 2?
Vanderbilt. He said Arkansas.
Okay, let me
Wow.
do this right here.
Didn't see that coming. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be straight up honest.
I didn't see Arkansas.
Arkansas. So here we go. Here is Arkansas's schedule. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right here. All right. They open with North Alabama. Then they play Utah. Then they play Georgia. Then they play Tulsa. They go to Texas A&M. They play Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Auburn, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Damn. Oh damn. Damn.
Hit me with your best shot.
Oh wow. So some people will be like, "Well, they got Utah." You acting like never mind.
No, don't say that.
Utah is picked to. Utah is one of the according to some of these polls to be in the top 10. Utah.
Okay, thank you. That's wow, and see, and that's one of our bottom tier teams in our conference. Think about that real quick, y'all. That's one of our bottom teams in the conference. But we'll be like, oh, Arkansas, that's a W. Oh, they're trash. But then the argument, if it's going to be in the narrative that you want to have, look at the SEC. Arkansas has the toughest schedule in the race, so we got to see what I'm saying. It can't work that way. Our conference, top to bottom, from top to bottom, can go anywhere and actually make some noise. Because if Arkansas wasn't in our conference, I think they'll get a little bit more wins.
You know what? Go ahead, Pete.
Okay, and I'm seeing some things in the chat. I understand what you're saying, but you also have to understand it from these writers' point of view too. These guys are playing teams that, from a normal everyday standpoint, who thought of Utah being tough back in the gap until Urban Meyer got there?
Say that again for the people in the back.
Who even thought of Utah? When you thought of the state of Utah, who's the first team that comes to mind? It wasn't Utah. It was BYU.
And don't sleep. And then that's the thing. It's like we forget the past sometimes. Didn't Utah beat us?
And Utah slammed Alabama one year.
Just gonna be quiet. Maybe we forget that part. Well, Utah trash, but didn't they beat us?
I remember that. Urban Meyer went down to the Louisiana Superdome and beat Nick Saban. I was watching that game. I was madder than a hornet when he got over. And I don't want to hear that thing about we wasn't into that game. You're supposed to be into every game you play. You don't care about them darn circumstances.
You lost. You lost to Utah. That's all that matters.
You lost to Utah.
That's all that matters. You lost to you because if we
lost to them,
if we'd have lost to Kansas State, well, we weren't in that game. Nah, you lost to Kansas State, bro. I don't give a damn. You lost to Kansas State.
You ready for anybody want to take a stab at who plays the second?
Mississippi State. I might as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Might as well go that way.
Nah. According to Lindy's,
Kentucky.
the number 2 toughest schedule
Uh-huh.
in the nation
Uh-huh.
is Oklahoma.
Didn't I say that?
P.
But
Didn't
I still don't agree with it.
Didn't I say that?
You said it, but I still don't agree with that. I believe Bama's and Oklahoma's schedule are more even than they are tough.
So then Arkansas schedule you shouldn't agree with.
Yeah.
But I can see why Arkansas is. Think about it. Arkansas is not that good.
But they got a tougher schedule.
But they have a
care.
tough schedule. But anybody want to take a stab at who's third?
It got to be young. No?
Vanderbilt,
Texas?
Georgia Tech.
Bingo.
Texas is number 3.
Texas is number 3.
Ah.
Wait a minute. This is fun right here. Because now, Bishop, Governor, I got to say something. This has even surprised me. This has even surprised me about what I'm about to say. Ohio State, according to Lindy's, is the 4th toughest schedule, right?
Right.
Guess who's number 5?
I done got it wrong too many times. I'm
afraid to say it. I'm afraid to say it, but I'm going to give Governor one stab at it because let me give it to you like this.
LSU?
Indiana.
It's another SEC team.
There's another SEC team.
Hey.
Florida.
I'm gonna let y'all play with this one for a minute. You've been talking about them all morning.
Mississippi State.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Wow.
Kentucky.
Yep.
That's the 5th hardest schedule.
So out of the top 5, SEC's got 4 toughest schedules.
That's all I'm saying.
That's what I keep trying to tell people, bro. Stop sleeping like these teams that you're just gonna go into them stadiums and just blow them out. We can't use the narrative about everybody else got a cupcake schedule, but our conference from top to bottom is tough. We know this. So when people say, "Oh, we're just gonna go into Kentucky and blow them out," dude, they play competition all season long. Like we don't. No, we're playing the brand. These guys have been doing things behind the scenes that we don't talk about.
And Stoops is not there no more. So they got a brand new coach.
So I'm going to address 2 things. We're going to go to Discord in a minute.
I know.
So Anthony said, since it seems like these big conferences are eliminating cupcakes, is it more of a chance that they schedule more tough out-of-conference teams? Governor, I'm going to let you take first stab at that one.
You said closing statements? We're doing closing statements?
No. He said
Wait a minute, say that again, Governor.
I couldn't hear what he said.
he didn't hear what you said. Say it again, P.
Oh, the question on the screen just says, since it seems like these big conferences are eliminating cupcakes, is it more of a chance that they schedule more tough out-of-conference teams?
No, I doubt it. I doubt it due to the fact of whatever this season goes on. So if injuries takes it to, okay, I'm not going to say I doubt it. I would say if injuries happen frequently this year, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because that's money. Certain players that these people are looking at is what's going to be the cash cow. So say 5 players from different teams that are studs that actually are like the number 1 guy on that team or whatever. If they go down, That's money that they're losing. That's viewership that's probably losing. Not saying that the fan base is not going to watch. I'm talking about these people use certain names for money cash cows. So if a Jeremiah Smith was to go down in week 4 and doesn't come back until about like week 9, how much revenue do you really think that's going to bring in? Because he's a high guy. He's a high name type of value player for that school. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it can't happen, and I'm just saying I think injuries might take a toll on what the decision in the future might be.
Yeah.
Bishop.
Yeah. Well, I have said it before. If you don't develop deeper and wider and have a 44 starting roster, then you're kidding yourself if you want to make it all the way to the Natty.
I hear you. First of all, I want to say on this one, the big conferences are eliminating cupcakes. First thing I want to say is identify cupcakes. Some of these cupcakes, if you will, outside of a conference, you might end up getting your feelings hurt sometime. I wouldn't say cupcakes. I understand what we mean, but the elimination of them, and as Governor said earlier, I've even heard Coach Carl say it on certain occasions. Some of them, Coach Bishop has said it. A lot of these teams have gotten better. So they've eliminated the cupcake status. Vanderbilt is no longer a cupcake. Bama used to beat them all the time. I mean, but not anymore. They struggle with them now, which leads me to my next one here. Right quick, Kentucky. Guess who has the 6th toughest schedule in the nation, Bishop?
Well, does Bama now come into play? Wow. Y'all, I'm taking my football home. My picker is off.
Governor, you want to take a stab at it?
Damn, what I gotta ask, Bishop, what conference?
You ain't lying. Give me a hint.
Bama plays them.
Florida State?
No.
No.
South Carolina.
You're getting hot, though. They're in the SEC.
Oh, okay.
Auburn?
Try Mississippi State.
It's getting out of control.
Yeah, I didn't look. That wasn't coming. I ain't gonna fake no funk. That wasn't even coming near to the brain.
Stephen Hicks. I've seen you, they straight trash. No, they're not.
No, they're not, bro.
No, they're not.
I would hope they were.
That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it, but no, they're not.
But see, that's what gets me. That what gets me not frustrated, but confused. Because didn't I just say? I just said it. When it comes to teams in our conference that we normally beat, we'll call them trash. But if you want to fit the narrative and say who the best conference is, and talk about other people's schedules, we'll put any SC team in their schedules and they'll flourish. Didn't I just say that?
Mm-hmm.
So how can you say Mississippi State is trash? One, we haven't played them in like 4 years. That's number one. Number two, if Mississippi State was in a different conference, don't you think they'll win more than 3 games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would believe they will win more than 3 games.
Hey, and if I could piggyback off of Governor, didn't Mississippi State take Texas to overtime?
I'm
Sure
just saying.
did.
But they're trash. If they're trash, they'd have got blown out. Well, that's just competitive. No, you cannot say things to fit your narrative. Because if they were trash, then they're trash, period. They won't take no team to the wire if they're trash. Words have meanings and context does matter. I just said the SEC from top to bottom is a dangerous conference.
Very.
They're dangerous. The SC, them same Mississippi State teams has to play the Georgias, the LSUs, the Texas, the Ole Misses, the Georgias, the Bamas, the Oklahomas. Like they have to play these teams. They're trash because the teams above them have better players. Doesn't mean that they're trash because if they were really that trash, they'd have kicked them out of the damn conference. Kick them out. They won't keep them in. They're not bringing no revenue in.
I'm just saying that because, and I will say this, Governor and Bishop, every time Bama has gone to Starkville to play State, yeah, we won the game, but we've struggled with them. Struggled with them.
We better not struggle
every
with them
time.
this year. If we struggle with Mississippi State this year, I'm going to go right back to that comment. If they're trash, we better beat them by 30. If we only beat them by 10, then who's trash? Us or them? I'm just going to give it to you right there. If we only beat them by 10, and I mean a late 10, a win is a win, yes. But if you're going to say that this team is trash, then this game should be over in the first half then. That goes for any school. If Georgia struggles with them, if A&M struggles with them, if Texas struggles with them, if we struggle with them, I'm going to go right back to that comment. And you said that they were trash. That means nobody above them should struggle with them in our conference. Am I wrong for saying that?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to say they're trash. I've been said, stop that narrative. Mississippi State is better than what people think they are. And I'm going to tell you this. They've got the quarterback.
Yeah. They're building according to their plan. They're building according to their plan.
They've got a quarterback that's no joke. And when they brought him in last year, he's returning. Mississippi State is not trash. I mean, and I understand your fandom there, Stephen, and for anybody else that thinks like that. But go back and look at the record. Let the record speak. Yes, Bama has beat them and all that kind of stuff, but it has never been easy. And I can remember the year that Mississippi State beat Bama in Jackson. Hurt my feelings, 6-3. Jackson went off the rails that day. And it could happen again. Not saying that it will, just saying that it could. So
we shouldn't schedule.
Saying that it could.
If Mississippi State is trash, then Kentucky's trash, then Vanderbilt is trash, then Auburn is trash. All of them are trash. We better not struggle with not one team that we say that's trash. We better not struggle with them. Because if they're trash, then what is Bama? Because if you're struggling
with trash.
If you're struggling with a trash team, we about to get our ass whooped.
We don't struggle with trash. I'm just saying now. That's why I said that these guys, according to here, is playing one of the toughest schedules and everything. And I know that might not mean hither or yon to anybody else, but it means the world to me that here's Alabama having to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these 20 on here. Bama plays them.
Then we're
Let
gonna
me go
go.
ahead and give for the sake of time so we can go to Discord. We told y'all number 1 was Arkansas. We told you number 2 was Oklahoma. Number 3 was Texas. Number 4 was Ohio State. Number 5, Kentucky. Number 6 is Mississippi State. Number 7 is Oregon. Number 8, Purdue. Number 9, LSU. Number 10, USC. Number 11, Florida. 12, Colorado. 13, Bama. 14, Michigan. 15, North Carolina. 16, Michigan State. 17, Tennessee. 18, Missouri. 19, Stanford. And Georgia rounds out the 20.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, they're trash. So then why we got them scheduled then? Because it's in our conference. But we play Kentucky, Mississippi State, and South Carolina. Well, they're all trash. Okay. So then we can't say strength of schedule then. Because we're playing 3 trash teams. If that's what you're saying.
And we got you, Anthony, and it don't work out like that sometimes. It doesn't. But I will tell you this, but the majority of the time, they're more on it than they are off of it. Just being honest with you. And I can see this. I can literally see this, what they're saying right here, right now. I can see it. But see, and I don't mean any harm. I'm not looking at this from a fan's point of view. I'm looking at this from an analytical point of view, from analysis.
Yeah, I can give two.
Some of the stuff. Go ahead, Gov.
I was saying I'll give 2 rats behind about the preseason schedule. I just know about the schedule. What's our schedule? I don't care about the rankings and all of that. If Bama takes care of business, the rankings are going to come to you. So I can care about the rankings. I can give 2. Let me watch my words. I can care less about the rankings. I care about what you're going to do with your schedule and who you have on your schedule. How do we look when we're playing against a trash team? And how do we look when we're playing against a team that's going to be in the playoffs? That's what I look at.
Wow. So you know what that means? And we're gonna sum it up right here. That means against East Carolina, Bama better come with it.
You better dog walk the hell out of them. You better do that.
That's all that means.
Because if we don't, that next game is Kentucky. And you don't think they watch that game? All right. They don't prepare on Thursdays. They prepare on Sunday. Matter of fact, they've been preparing since last year to face Bama. They already been preparing. Goes back to what I said about coaching. But go ahead.
So we're going to see. Bishop, I love the way our conversations transform into something else, into other stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that we're all over the place, because Lord knows we're not. We're talking about scheduling. We're talking about schedules. But in that schedule, you still can't get away from performance and coaching and development and this, that, and the third. Because I'm going to put it to you like this. Arkansas is at the lowest. Wait a minute now. Hold up. I got to see something for just a second. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. I gotta do something right quick. Cause wasn't it Arkansas last year? Or was it the year before? Let me see something for just a second.
It's crazy. Mississippi State is
I think it was the year before. It was an Arkansas team, Bishop, Governor, that didn't they beat Tennessee?
Yeah, they did. They did. Yes, sir.
Everybody called them trash.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I just hate that damn narrative. How you gonna say they're trash, but then if it's a close game, the first thing out their mouth is, "Well, you know, they're the teams that always play us hard." But time out, you just said they're trash. You just said they're trash. This is what
Just
pisses me off. Don't tell a team that is trash in your conference, but then if we have a close game, the first thing out your mouth is, well, they always play us tough, man. That's the thing about the SEC. No, you want it to fit your net. I don't care about what y'all feel. I understand the fandom, and it's always going to be about the Tide or whatever school that you represent. Cool, I understand that. But take your fandom out and pay attention to what we're saying. You can't say a team is trash, but every time we play them and it's a close game, well, that's just what the SEC does, man. It brings the best out of it. Like they always play us tough. But you just called them trash. If Devontae Smith don't catch that pass from Jalen Hurts in Mississippi State, the game was tied, bro.
Facts.
And we called them trash back then. We barely want to. You know what? Let's go to Discord.
and Governor, don't leave out the main part now. And that was in Cowbell City.
It was in Cowbell. You can't hear a damn thing. They always want to say somebody's trash, and when you go on the road, it's like, whoa, this is a different environment. Yes, it is. They always play us tough. The Arkansas, the Kentuckys, the Mississippi States, the Vanderbilts. They've always played us tough. There's only one time we blew out one of those teams, and that was 66-6 because that dude came out of nowhere and started talking trash, and we put our foot on his neck, and we never let it go. But don't do that, bro. Don't do that. I understand the loyalty that you have to your school, but sometimes some people just be talking out of the side of their neck because it sounds like it's a flex. That's not a flex, bro. That is not a flex, because quite honestly, if you're gonna call a team trash, then what the hell are they gonna say to us? Because what have we done lately? When you have no legs to stand on, you shouldn't say a damn thing. You shouldn't speak. Not egregious the way that people are speaking. I'm not just calling out Steve. I'm talking about in general. Okay, don't take this like I'm directing to you. I'm talking about in general as fans. If your team hasn't done nothing lately, not 2-3 years ago, lately, because last time I checked, the Big Ten has won 3 championships in a row. So if our schools in the SEC have not done anything lately, you shouldn't be talking out the side of your neck. And don't bring up the past. Well, we did it in the past is the past. We can't say that for other schools, and then when we started doing it, well, I can say it because no, it don't work that way. I'm just gonna be fair across the board, bro. Go ahead, man. Where's my coffee at? I got time. My coffee.
Go ahead, Bishop.
P, if you don't feel the intensity that is already brewing and that this year is different and that teams are starting to actually have to do their homework, maybe now they can hear me. This year, you have to be forced by fire. And without a doubt, I got you, Governor. Without a doubt, you cannot play with your food.
I was looking at comment. I'm sorry. He said Penn State was trash last year, and didn't Indiana struggle?
There you go.
Prime example right there, bro.
Right there. That's why I put it up there. And wait a minute, Governor. Hold up. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that Penn, just for a couple seconds here. That Penn State Indiana game. What was in the words of Bishop? What was the main caveat? I'll remind you, Penn State didn't have a head coach.
Not at all.
Remember, they got rid of him, right?
Yep.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Right? Am I right or wrong?
You're telling the truth.
And it took a last-second pass from Mendoza to the wide out in the end zone because Penn State got cute at the end.
Joe did. They were in there. They were dealing and they let off the gas.
so quick to call a team trash, but I bet a lot of people were rooting for Penn State to win that game.
18-1.
All the world was watching that game, Bishop and Governor. Everybody was watching that game. And the more Penn State made that game, what's the word? Like more competitive, you can literally see the numbers go up of how many people viewed into that game right there. I'm talking about it was in the millions. You can literally see it was something that came on that how this game garnered attention as the game went on. As it went on, it garnered a lot of attention.
Because see, they had lost their coach and they weren't doing so hot with that coach. That's why he was let go. And yet all of a sudden, remember, Indiana was undefeated going into that game. So nobody was thinking of Penn State to be even on that level.
They're trash because they haven't been winning. They're trash because they're not getting the players that we get. Y'all do know the transfer portal does exist. So the teams that we keep calling trash, they like to hear that stuff because now that means that we're not focusing on what they're doing in the off season.
Bulletin board. All I got to say is, okay, if you believe that, you better hope that your coaches develop. Because this is the year that if you don't, you're going to get exposed because you have no second bye week. I will emphasize that to you guys. Any team in the Southeastern Conference that don't develop deeper and wider, you're going to get exposed because you got to play 8 straight.
I don't think they understand, and Bishop, that we play because I'm harping on that statement as Mississippi State is trash. Okay, so in that same sentiment, you're basically saying our first 5 games against trash teams.
So you're going 5-0?
You better, because in that sentiment, if you're saying Mississippi is trash because due to the fact of they don't have the players, they haven't been winning. Okay, so you could say the same thing about South Carolina, right? You can say the same thing about Kentucky. You could say the same thing about Florida State, and you could say the same thing about East Carolina. So we better go 5-0. We better go 5-0.
Words have meaning.
Happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that can't happen. What I'm saying is we better go 5-0, and it better be a breeze 5-0, because after that is Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Texas A&M. Do I need to keep going? Because Auburn, in that sense, if they haven't done anything, LSU could be trash because they haven't done anything, right?
No, I ain't taking no. I'm sorry. I'm going 1-0 because I've been where people have been saying where I had that adage. Yeah, we're going 12-0. I tend to have to learn that this Southeastern Conference is built different, and from top to bottom, because of the portal and NIL, a lot of teams have been quietly building. And with proof is in the pudding, Mississippi State took Texas to overtime
Last year, right?
last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With the Heisman Trophy favorable, right?
Yeah.
That team that went 9-3 was trying to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we're going to say that they're trash because they haven't won anything, then that means everybody is on our schedule is trash, but Georgia, because they're the only team that won anything. Is that what you're telling me?
Hey, I hear you.
Only schedule that has won something. Oh, and I'm gonna say besides LSU in 2019, but for this century, the only team that's won anything on our schedule will be Georgia. So we only have one team that we got to face, that we got to be worried about. So we should be going 11-1 then. 11-1, 12-0 is the ceiling. Because they're the only school that has won something. The SEC championship and the national championship. That's Georgia. So we shouldn't struggle with no other school. Is that what you're telling me? See how certain things, words have meaning and context matters. When you say certain things and people come back and respond to you that way, you're going to be like, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. But you just said that they were trash. But if we play them strong and we have a close game, the next thing out your mouth is, well, they always do that, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the SEC and they always play us tough. It's those schools right there. Yeah, because those were always been the schools that we were worried about when it was the East and the West. What do you mean? Those were the schools that we always had to worry about. The Arkansas, the Kentuckys, the Mississippi States, because we knew we was going to get a game. Besides the teams that we had to play and actually had to and rev up to, we knew those schools right there were the teams that we had to take out very quickly. Come on, bro.
And may I say something else? And then we're gonna close and go to the Discord, Bishop and Governor.
Yeah.
That same Mississippi State team, after they lost to Texas the week before, struggled with Arkansas.
Documentation be conversation.
Next week. So when Governor says, you know what the SEC need to, and if I were you, Governor, I would put this pitch in. They need to stop saying it means more, and they need to go to we just different. It's different over here.
It's different over here.
It's different over here.
You don't take nobody. Okay, P and chat. What happened when Oklahoma played South Carolina? We won that game. And I was talking cash that y'all about to do work on them. What happened that game against Bama and South Carolina? Did they not push you?
We always went to overtime. We scored on a 4th and goal, bro. That's what I'm saying. This is the same team we played last year. We went 4th and goal. And to be honest with you, they allowed us to freaking score one drive. Just so they get the ball. You know what? Maybe go to Discord, bro. I'm gonna say my closing arguments. I love y'all. It's a morning. I woke up this morning, y'all. It's a blessing to speak with y'all. A blessing to talk to the chat. Don't nobody take it directly. We're just talking, okay?
Yeah.
Barbershop. This is barbershop.
Really need mind what you say, okay? It's not just us in here that watches this. A lot of people watches a lot of Alabama podcasts just to hear what the fans are going to say. Not necessarily what the content creators saying. They looking in the chat. They're not listening mainly for the people that's the content creator. They're looking in the chat. And they might not say a damn word. They're just sitting there watching. Okay. All right.
Oh, boy, I tell you.
Boy, and I just thankful to wake up another day and have a breath in my body. And I'm thankful to have a family that we can come and we can conversate and each person can be heard. And that is the true American dream.
Y'all, I'm trying to keep this upbeat as I can, but I'm not sure if you all have heard, but over the holidays, young man went out with some friends here in Mississippi, Bishop and Governor Chat here on the Gulf Coast, and went out to Horn Island. and young man didn't return. And all the friends returned but him. And just got an alert that a body has been found. Not knowing, not sure if it's him or not. But my heart breaks because this is what we talk about, and the governor and bishop. The reason not just because young man lost his life, but he was also a football player at the Southwest Community College there in Summit, Mississippi, at a junior college there. I'm not sure what position he played. I want to say he was a wide out. But this is why we say keep your, why we can sit around and argue about X's and O's and development and this and that and the third. You got some kids might not make it back. And that's why I pray. And I'm going to ask before we get off of here today, right now, Bishop, if you don't mind, you know what I always ask when you're here. I ask that you would pray for this young man's family, pray for their team, pray for the community.
Yeah, and, I can definitely do that. I have no problem in doing that. Bishop, first and foremost, always when we lose a young one, a bright mind, we don't know what they were about to bring. And so we just want to, Lord, we just give you praise, glory, and admiration that first and foremost, you gave us breath, you gave us wisdom, you gave us a mind to be competent to understand that life is short and that this life was cut short. And Lord, only you know the reasons behind it, whatever. But the bottom line is we have an advocate that speaks on our behalf when we can't see stuff, when things are going on. So I ask Abba through the 7 different places that the dunamis power of blood shifts and shakes and delivers us, that you wrap that around the family as they're going through this time. And Lord, we just ask that all of us take a moment to be thankful that those we have near us, make sure you reach out and touch them. Because without a doubt, in this day and age, there's too much going on that for us to hold part to something that is inconceivable, and that now more than ever, we need each other. And we need to make sure we wrap our arms around those who are dealing with some major stuff. And Lord, we just thank you that your dunamis power of blood will wrap around this family, and that the healing balm of Gilead will stay with them as they walk through this process. Lord, we don't take it for granted. We get an opportunity to breathe again, to leave again, and to speak again. This life was so special, and we had no idea how we keep losing these young ones. But from now on, we need to be the stewards and the watchmen on the wall, and to make sure that we keep a line open to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen and amen. So, thank you, Piano Man, for doing that. Because family, if I could be,
we're going to go to the.
Yeah, we're going to go to Discord. Go ahead.
Amen.
We're going to go to the Discord. Thank you all for coming. That's our show for today. I don't never like to end on a down note, but this has been bugging a lot of all of us down here. And I'm hoping and praying. I just hate that this has happened, but all I'm going to say is what Bishop said. Love your people. Love on your people. Hug them. Like Governor says, hug them. Let them know that you love them, because you don't know when it's the last time. You don't know how it's going to come about. You don't know. So for that, I want you to have a great day. And remember to stay focused and drive and go forward in the name of the Lord. And remember to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. And you can do all things through Christ that gives you strength. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Coach Carl. Thank you, B Sharp. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And as we always say, hey, Piano Man don't know everything. I just know what I'm talking about. But we'll see you in the Discord. I want everybody to have a great day. Hey, let's go over the Discord. Have a good time. And
Thanks for watching. Hands up if you tuned in. Thanks for watching. Every single click, every view, yeah, we locked in. From the first little beat to the final option. We just wanna say